Growth English Pronunciation Training. I'm back from COVID, um, feeling great, ready to get back to teaching English pronunciation and helping you with your pronunciation so you can speak clearly, feel confidently, and grow your career in English. First of all, I can see there's lots of you here already, so thank you so much for being on time. That's one of the great ways to get success in life, is to always be on time. So let's just see who we've got here. I'm really excited for our live training today. I'm going to be sharing with you um, 3 tips that you can use to take your English pronunciation from good to great. So in the British accent method, we have bronze, silver, and gold level English pronunciation. And the tips I'm going to be sharing with you today are going to help you to achieve that gold level of English pronunciation where you're speaking like a native. Okay, so let me just see who's here. VJ's here. VJ, welcome back. Great to have you here. Pooja, thank you so much, Pooja, for all of your comments. I've really appreciated reading all of them. It's great to have you back. Alberto's here. Thank you very much, Alberto. Awesome to have you back live on another YouTube Live. So thank you, Alberto, for being here. Alberto is someone who I've worked with a lot in my coaching program, and I am really inspired by what he's achieved with his English pronunciation. He's done a really, really good job and is a great example of what's possible when you really practice your English pronunciation. VJ, thanks for your comment. Martha, good to see you again, Martha. Thanks for being back. Not spoken to you in a little while, so thank you for being here. Madden's back. Madden, awesome. Great to see you again. It's been a little while. That's my fault. But I'm pleased to have you back. And Chiara as well. Great to have you all here. And thank you so much for being here. So I want to get right into it and give you as much value as possible right from the beginning. So first of all, can you just let me know that you can hear me okay? Just put a quick comment letting me know that you can hear me okay. My microphone's just down here. If you can't hear me, I can move it, but I think you should be able to hear me okay. Just let me know in the comments. I'm going to check. Madden's got a thumbs up. Okay, good. Just give me one more thumbs up, and then we will get started. And also, right, let me see. My Japanese, my reading of katakana is not good anymore. Megajikain? Megajikain? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But thanks for being here. I've really appreciated reading all of your comments as well. Okay, cool. So let's get started. I'm going to give you 2 tips and then what I call the power tip. Okay, and these are 3 specific tips that you can start implementing on your English pronunciation right from today to start speaking more like a native. Okay. The 3 tips I'm going to share with you have nothing to do with actual pronunciation of English sounds, okay? These are specifically things that you can apply to your existing English pronunciation without having to learn any new sounds to dramatically start speaking more like a native, more clearly, more confidently, and that's going to help you to get the respect that you deserve. It's going to help you to grow your career and to feel confident and enjoy speaking English. So let's dive in. Just finally, Zulkifi's here, Manuel's here. Great to see so many of you back. I really appreciate all of your comments. You're also good at commenting on my videos, and that really inspires me and motivates me to keep putting out great content for you. So I feel like the family's back together. I've also got the Heineken mug back here for today, so I keep nice and hydrated. Because I had COVID, luckily I was fine, nothing serious, but I'm still experiencing a couple of symptoms, even though I'm fully better now. And one of those symptoms is I cough quite a bit when I talk a lot. So if I cough a bit today, that's why. But apart from that, life is pretty much back to normal, and I'm pleased to be back again. So let's dive in. First of all, you should be able to see there's a phrase here, I'm going to the gym. Okay, I'm going to use this phrase today to teach you these 3 tips. And what I'm essentially going to show you is how you can take pronunciation of these words on their own and then bring them together exactly like a native speaker would use them. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's dive in with tip one right away. Okay, this is a massive, massive, massive tip, and it's super important. Okay, if you want to speak naturally in English. Tip one is that in English, there are about 40 words that have two types of ways to pronounce them. The first way to pronounce them is if you are going to stress the word or you're going to talk about that word. But the second way to pronounce these kind of words is the way that native speakers pronounce them the vast majority of the time. The difference between these two kinds of words, the technical name for it is strong form and weak form words. There are two weak form words in this sentence, and let's see, just leave a comment now. Does anyone know what the two weak form words are in this sentence right here? Just whilst you leave a comment, I'm going to explain why weak form words are important. The reason why unstressed weak form words are important is because in English, we don't stress every word evenly. In every language, there are certain words that are more important than other words. But because English is a stressed timed language, which means that we stress certain words and syllables and we don't stress others, what that means is that the words that are not stressed, and specifically the weak form words, they are pronounced in a way that's much quicker than their strong form pronunciation, and this gives English its rhythm. Okay, it's one of the main things that gives English its rhythm, because the 40-ish high frequency weak form words in English, they are ultra high frequency words, which means that you use them pretty much in every sentence when you speak English. You'll use at least one of these words. Okay, so Madden was right. Madden said the two weak form words were to and the, and he's absolutely right. Abraham, thanks for being back. Great to see you again. Abraham was also spot on as well. These are the two weak form words. Just let me give you some context about this. If I deleted these two words and you couldn't see them, and I said to you, I'm going gym, you would still understand exactly what I'm saying. It's not grammatically correct, the sentence, but it's still clear, right? That's because these words are the meaning words in the sentence. These are the words that actually convey the meaning of the sentence. Okay, if there's no grammar, but I just say I'm going gym, you know exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so basically, if you didn't know about strong form and weak form, the strong form and the weak form pronunciation of these two words here, what you might do is pronounce each of these words with even stress, which would sound like this. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Actually, even now, I've not done that quite right because it's so unnatural for me to try and do this. I'll say it one more time, correct. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Now, that's okay. That's grammatically correct, and you understand what I'm saying, but there's no rhythm there like a native speaker would have. And I really want you to have the confidence and the tools to be able to develop native English rhythm. So, using the weak forms of words enables us to develop native English rhythm. Because these two words, let's just look at their strong sort of normal pronunciation. This word is pronounced to, like the number two, and this word is pronounced the. Okay, if you look them up in the dictionary, that's how they are pronounced. All right. However, when we're using them in their weak form pronunciation, what we can do is we can change the vowel sound in these words to a schwa sound. So remember, you've probably already seen my videos on the schwa sound. If you haven't, then check them out because they will tell you this in a lot more detail. But the schwa sound is a reduced vowel sound in English. Madden has just said it exactly right in the comments there. And what happens is it's a reduced vowel sound, which means you basically can be extra lazy when you make the vowel sound. So instead of saying the vowel sound oo here, what you do instead is you say The schwa sound, the easiest way for you to think about the schwa sound is imagine you're waking up in the morning, your alarm's gone off and it's really early in the morning, it's 5 a.m. and you're saying, is it time to get up? That noise, where you're just simply making noise is the schwa. Okay, that's the easiest way to think about it. All right. So it's easier from an energy perspective and quicker to say here, to, instead of to. And here, it's easier to say the instead of the. All right. There is also a second weak form pronunciation of the word the, and I cover that in my video on the 3 pronunciations of the. If you haven't seen that already, definitely check that out because it's hyper relevant to your rhythm in English. It's so important. Okay, so that's what happens to these words. So what we can do is instead of saying to the, we can say to the, to the, to the. And what you can hear is from a length perspective, instead of saying to the, if you change that to the, can you hear how much shorter it becomes? So if I put the sentence up to here so far, the wrong way or the non-weak form way would be I'm going to the. But now hear how it changes when I say I'm going to the. All right. Can you hear how there's more stress on I'm going, specifically going, than there is on to the. All right. And then if we give the whole sentence together, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. What this does is it changes the rhythm of the syllables in English. Okay. Like I said at the beginning, if I was saying every syllable evenly stressed, it would sound like this. I'm going to the gym. The rhythm would be na 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 na. But that is not the rhythm of English. English, it goes between longer and shorter syllables. So if I just give you the rhythm of this sentence when you use the weak forms of these 2 words, what you get is na 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 na. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Can you hear the difference there? Let me know in the comments if you can hear the difference. All right. So that's weak form words. Okay. There's about 40 of them in English. In my pronunciation course, I give you step-by-step tutorials on each of these words and show you how to integrate it into your English. That's beyond the scope of this lesson, but these are 2 of the most frequently used weak form words in English. And if you can start to practice the rhythm of these words, you're going to be able to use these in so many situations every time you speak, and it's going to immediately improve your rhythm and the flow of your English. Okay? So that's tip 1. The takeaway from tip 1 is I'd like you to practice going forward from here. Just this here, these 2 weak form words on their own is to the, to the. Okay, Zulkifli says, by sounding equal on all syllables, one might sound like a robot. Exactly. And we as humans, we're not robots. Okay. One of the main things that we can do to put personality into our English is to try to incorporate this kind of thing, because it gives your English life. Okay, and it allows you to be more like you, the real person that you are, and it enables you to show more of yourself. Okay, so that's tip one, which is using the weak forms of words, and I would really recommend practicing this over the next week. Okay, tip two is word stress. Okay, we've touched on it already, but I'm going to go into it in more detail now and show you how you can apply it. So, like I said at the beginning of this demonstration, the meaning words in this sentence are I'm going gym. All right. In English, you want to put extra stress on the specific words that carry the main meaning of the sentence. So if we just forgot about the middle bit here and said, I'm going gym, if I dropped the first word and just said going gym, you would probably still understand what I'm saying. If I said to you, going gym, you would probably understand that I'm going to the gym. So these two words are the main information words in this sentence. If you just said these words and nothing else, you would probably still understand exactly what I'm saying. What English does is native speakers, they stress the information words in the sentence. And by putting extra stress on the information words and less stress on the non-information words, it makes it very easy for who you're talking to understand exactly what you're saying, because by putting more stress on the information words, you focus the listener's attention on those meaning words. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the whole sentence again, and I'm going to put a bit of extra stress on going and gym, because they are the two information words here, and I want you to listen and see if you can hear the difference. Okay, I'm going to say it first, again, without extra stress, and then second with extra stress. Okay. Abraham says, going gym sounds like an incomplete sentence or message. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's definitely incomplete, but the meaning is still there. All right. So that's an important point. Yes, it's grammatically incorrect, and you obviously want to be using the whole sentence, but the point is the meaning could be conveyed just with the meaning words. Okay, that's why they're called meaning or information words. All right. So first of all, here's how it sounds evenly. I'm going to the gym. And there I kept these two words reduced with their weak form pronunciation, but I put less stress on I'm going gym. I'll do that again. I'm going to the gym. Okay, it still sounds quite flat, right? Now let me put the correct stress on the information words. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Can you hear that these two syllables, go, specifically go, because this here, go, is the stressed syllable in going, and also gym, how they're louder. I'm going to the gym. The volume increases, and so does the length slightly of the syllable as well. I'm going to the gym. Those syllables are longer, right? So here's an exercise you can do right now. Okay, I want you just to write a sentence or say a sentence, type one into the messages, and what I want you to do is I want you to put in capital letters the information words, which are the ones that you would stress in the sentence. Let's get some examples, and then I can see how everyone's saying. Okay. Just whilst you do that, Zulkifli says, so information words are like the noun and adjective, while conjunctions and prepositions are unstressed. That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Because the grammar words, they're there to make the sentence correct. They're there to complete the sentence. But they're not there to give the meaning of the sentence. And in English, we want to stress the meaning words. Okay. This isn't easy for everyone. Okay. And it can take practice. It probably will take practice, because even if in your native language you stress the information words, just the way that English does it can be slightly different. So that's why, as part of the British accent method, when I teach any concept, I teach it in a whole phrase, so you can actually see how it fits in real English speech. Okay, there's no point in learning stuff just on its own, because you still can't then, you might be able to do it correctly on its own, but not in real speech. And we want you to feel confident in real speech and not just practice. Okay, so does anyone want to give an example or not? Leoberto, bom dia. Bom dia, seja bem-vindo aqui. Thank you for showing up, Leoberto. Cool, okay, fine. So I think there's a delay on the comments. So I've not seen any comments come in with examples. So Ritik, hey, what we'll do is, if I just change the sentence, and if I said, I'll be there at 5. I'll be there at 5. Can have a listen, and I want you to put in the comments which are the stressed words, the meaning words in the sentence. I'll be there at 5. I'll be there at 5. Can anyone hear? I'm sure you can. Which are the stressed words in that sentence? I'll be there at 5. All right. I'll just give you one final tip while someone comments which are the stressed words. You might have also noticed there, in that phrase that I just gave you, I'll be there at 5, that there was another word that was one of the weak form words where you reduce the vowel sound and make it unstressed. And that was at. We don't always say, I'll be there at 5. Instead, we reduce it, because at is, again, more there for grammar. I'll be there at 5. So at, just like to and the, becomes reduced to The vowel sound just reduces to noise. Okay, All right. So Chiara and I hope I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Is it Surya Narayan? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if not. You were both correct. Okay. Be there and 5. The two primary words that get the most stress are be and 5, but there also has a certain level of stress. I'll be there at 5. Okay, but can you hear? I'll be there at 5. That's where the stress is the most. I'll be there at 5. Okay, so I'm about to move on to the power tip. But before I do, let's recap where we've got to so far. What we've looked at so far is how the grammar words in the sentence, like prepositions and words that are there just to make the sentence correct, can be reduced in their stress and their pronunciation, where the vowel sound in those words just simply becomes a schwa, which is just simply noise, and then the consonant that is in that word. That can help the rhythm of your English speech. You can use this to give you native English rhythm. We've also then looked at stressing the primary information words in the sentence. What that does is it puts your listeners' attention on that word. If I give you one final example of this, all right, can you all of a sudden hear there? I suddenly stressed example, and that probably made you suddenly focus on the word example. So when you want to get your listeners' attention on the words that carry the meaning, that's what you do. You stress those words. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on where we've got to so far? I'm about to move on to the power tip, and this is where you can bring all of this together and really take your pronunciation to that next level. Okay. Just before I get to that though, Pradeep, you can hear me fine. That's great. And Pradeep says, great lesson. Pradeep, thanks very much for your comments. I've enjoyed reading your comments recently as well. And it seems like a load of comments have just come through, which I missed out on. So Margin's here. Margin, welcome back. Great to see you again. I actually thought of you the other day because I was thinking about when you joined the 30-day confidence fast track, and I just thought about you. So let me know how you're getting on. How is your pronunciation practice going? I hope the situations you were having before, where you were speaking English at work, I hope that they've got better for you. Okay. So let's just look at the examples that came in so far, and then we're going to move on to the power tip. Margin's example was, I'll go back to work on Sunday. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What I would say to you, Marjan, there, and Margin's example is really good. I would say you don't need to stress go. If you said, for example, if you said, this isn't grammatically correct, but if you said, I back to work on Sunday, and you just drop go altogether, I still understand what you mean. I back to work on Sunday. All right. So as a result of that, I would say you don't need to stress go. The other three words are absolutely perfect. Go back to work on Sunday. It's perfectly clear. And in Margin's example here, we've got another weak form word. Have a guess. Someone tell me which is the weak form word. We've got two weak form words actually. One of them we haven't looked at yet. Which are the two reduced words in Margin's example? I'm going to say her example a couple more times, and I want you to listen out. I'll go back to work on Sunday. I'll go back to work on Sunday. The two examples of the weak form words, which were tip 1 in Marjan's example, are to, which we've already looked at, and Marjan also used the word on, which on its own would be pronounced on, or if I'm stressing it like I just did there, I'd say on, on. But when it's used in a sentence and the stress is on the other words, then you would say where again you've got the and then the n sound I'll go back to work on Sunday. Okay, I'll go back to work on Sunday. All right. So just let me see the final comments that have come here, and then I'm going to move on to the power tip. So Surya says, I can only hear some words while watching movies without subtitles. Maybe they are the meaning words. Yes, but that's probably likely, Surya. Okay, so Surya has basically said that when she's listening to movies or watching movies in English without subtitles, she doesn't hear every word. There's two reasons for that, Purya. Okay, the first one is potentially because they are the meaning words in the sentence that are being extra stressed, so they're much easier for you to recognize. The second reason, and this is less likely, but it also could be a reason, is they might just be words that are either pronounced unclearly or that they're just not words that are currently in your vocabulary. That's the second other alternative reason. But assuming that your vocabulary, that those words are in your vocabulary, then yes, you're going to be hearing much more of the information words, the meaning words. Okay, right. I'm just going to have a quick drink, and then we're going to move on to the power tip for today. Pooja says, great job. Thank you, Pooja. And I will be the best accountant very soon. Pooja, so you're an accountant, are you? I've worked with several accountants in London. I'm working with one at the moment, actually, and they're making some great progress with their pronunciation, which is helping their career, because unfortunately they've been having some difficulties whereby they've not been getting the same level of respect as their colleagues who are native English speakers, even though they're just as qualified and just as good, if not better, at the job than their as their native English speaking colleagues. So this is one reason why I'm so passionate about giving you confidence in English, because unfortunately I've seen it a lot where and this happened to me as well when I lived in Brazil, where because our pronunciation wasn't clear, it prevented us from showing our value and our expertise. So if you are a professional that wants to communicate extra clearly so you can grow your career, get the respect you deserve, and feel confident speaking English at work, I'm here to help you with that. And if you want my help, my personal help on your pronunciation, just go here, howtospeakenglishclearly.com, and you can join my program, and you actually get to work with me and get my personal help on your pronunciation there. Okay, so if you're interested, check this out. Now, the power tip. So, the power tip is something that it's something that a lot of people find very difficult. Okay, especially it can be more difficult for various native languages, and I'll explain just a couple of these. But it can also be difficult. It can be difficult for a number of reasons. So first of all, what is the power tip? The power tip is to use connected speech in your English to make your English flow really smoothly. Okay, so what we've looked at so far is how to stress the important words in the sentence and how to reduce the unimportant words in the sentence so you have native English rhythm. However, there's still one thing that can affect this, and it's connected speech. And if in your language you don't merge syllables from one to the next, what can happen is you can find that you're always pausing in between words, or pausing a lot of the time unnecessarily in between words. Okay, English is like waves flowing and coming into the beach. Okay, imagine water flowing. It's continuous, and the waves keep coming. They keep coming. They keep coming, and they go up and down and up and down, but they're continuous, and the water doesn't break. There's not water, no water, water, no water. The water is it's all together. It's connected. Think of English pronunciation or English like water. We want your English to be connected. Now, the first thing you might say, well, isn't it good to leave pauses in your pronunciation? Absolutely. It's very good, especially if you want to speak more slowly, to put pauses into your speech, especially after the meaning words in the sentence, because that helps even further put your listener's attention on the meaning words. But what we don't want to do is pause between every word in English, which would make our English sound like this. And if you pause unnecessarily, what it can do is it can make your English sound very choppy. Okay, which is the opposite to how English flows. I've recently been working with some clients from China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, and in those languages, the syllables don't connect in the same way that English syllables do. So some of my clients have been finding that what happens is when they speak, they find it difficult to use connected speech in English as a native English speaker would, because of how different it is to the way that they connect speech up in their native languages. So I'm going to just give you a couple of tips right now that you can use and take away from today's training to add connected speech to your English pronunciation, which is going to enable you to speak more smoothly and more naturally and more like a native. Okay, so first of all, let's just have a look here. The first thing I want to tell you, and this is one of the most powerful things you can learn about with connected speech, okay, especially when two consonants come together at the end of one word and the beginning of another, here's what you do not do. And this is a very common, I'm not going to call it a mistake because it's not technically wrong, but it is very different to how native speakers speak. Okay. We do not fully pronounce consonants when they come at the end of words. So let me give you an example of that. Let's look at the G sound here. Okay, let me just get my pen. If we look at the G sound here, when we pronounce the G sound at the beginning of a word, what happens? We go into the position for it, which is the back of the tongue touching the back of the mouth. Then airflow stops because we've blocked the airflow from coming out. And as a result of that, the pressure builds up. And then at the beginning of the word, we release the G with a big puff of air. G, G, G. Okay, we forcefully release the sound. G. The reason why these kinds of sounds are called plosive sounds is like they're explosive. Imagine an explosion. The air is exploding out when we make these kinds of consonants at the beginning of a word. But what happens when they come at the end of the word is we don't do the whole sound. What we do is we go into the position, and then in this particular scenario, because it's a plosive sound, the airflow stops. But what we don't do is then release the sound at the end of the word. Let me show you what I mean here. If I was to release the sound and fully pronounce it at the end of the word, it would sound like this. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. What happens is I make a g sound, and then I have to pause the airflow between g and to. Okay, I'm going to the gym. In standard BBC English pronunciation, that is not correct. Okay, there are certain accents in the UK where they would pronounce the G sound at the end of a word. And actually, I've just realised this is a really bad example. I shouldn't have used this example because when you get the G sound, well, the G letter at the end of this word here, it's not actually a G sound anyway. So this is a really bad example. Let me give you a better example, which would be the word gig. Okay. For example, if I said I'm going to a gig, like a concert, then this is a G sound. Okay. Here, this is not a G sound, it's the sound. If you want to master that sound, I've got lots of tutorials on the channel that can help you with that. That's really powerful. Okay, but supposing I said I'm going to a gig, what I don't do is fully release the sound. I don't say I'm going to a gig. I'm going to a gig. Okay. Instead, what I do is if the G sound comes at the end with no more speech after it, for example, I'm going to the gig, what happens is I half make the sound. So I go into the position, the airflow stops, the pressure builds up, and then I either partially release a little bit of airflow, I'm going to the gig, like that. Let me just do this into the microphone. I'm going to the gig, or I don't release any airflow. I'm going to the gig. I'm going to the gig. But what we don't do is fully release the sound and make any noise after it. Okay? Now, this applies to all consonants. Because this is a plosive consonant, which means that we pause airflow. But let's go back to this example now and use the sound, all right? What we don't do is we don't say, I'm going to the gym, or I'm going to the gig. What we do is and this applies to all consonants in English, okay? You go into the position of the first plosive, sorry, the first consonant. We go into the position of the first consonant, okay? For this one, it's the sound, where the back of the tongue is in the same position as the G sound, but the airflow is coming out of our nose. All right. Then what happens in connected speech to avoid pausing unnecessarily is if the next syllable begins with a consonant, like it does here, I'm going to, instead of saying I'm going to where I pause airflow, what happens instead is, just watch this. I'm going to. Can you see my tongue lifts up to the T position, going? That's the T position there, whilst I still make airflow. So what's happening is I'm not releasing the first sound. Instead, I go into the position of the first consonant, and then whilst I make that consonant, I start to transition to the position of the second consonant. I'm going to. Okay. Can you hear how I didn't pause airflow there? Can you hear how I didn't pause airflow? This might feel unnatural to begin with, but this is something you can do to give yourself gold level English pronunciation and get you standing on top of the English pronunciation podium. Okay, connected speech is something that native speakers do all the time, and it is really, really useful if you want to get your English pronunciation to a really high level. Okay, there are three kinds of connected speech. There's connected speech where a word ends in a vowel and the next word begins in a vowel. So two vowels coming together. There's connected speech where a word ends in a consonant and the next word begins with a vowel. And there's connected speech where the word ends with a consonant and the next word begins with a consonant. Okay. There's also technically connected speech where the word begins with a vowel and the next word begins with a consonant, but that's not usually an issue for people because it's easy to make a vowel and then just go straight into the next consonant. For example, she parks her car, E plus P, she parks. That's easy for most people to say without pausing. But the other three scenarios can be more difficult. So because of time, I'm only going to cover consonant plus consonant connecting speech here today. Okay. I do have some other videos on this on YouTube. But if you really want in-depth training on this, I'd highly recommend, if you can, joining my coaching program. Over the last 2 weeks, I've just done two 90-minute training sessions with my clients on them using these forms of connected speech in their speaking. I was able to give everyone lots of one-to-one feedback and support and really work with them to actually integrate this into their English speaking. So if that sounds like the kind of help that you would like, just head over to howtospeakenglishclearly.com and all the information that you need about the course and the support that I give you is there for you. Okay. So let's just look where we've got to so far. If we take this phrase without any of the things that we've looked at here today, it would sound like this. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. If we add the reduced pronunciation of the non-important words and we turn them into the weak form pronunciation, which is how they're pronounced the majority of the time, we get I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Already that starts to give us more rhythm, much more like a native speaker. Then if we apply step 2, which is to stress the information words, what we get is I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. Already that sounds 95% better. And then if we add connected speech, we get I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the gym. All right. And the most difficult example of connected speech in this phrase here would be here between the sound and the T, which you've just looked at. You also might find this one here tricky as well. So let's just look at that and get you confident with this one as well. Okay. So to connect these two, the same thing applies. We go into the position at the end of the word I'm, we go into the M position, which, as everyone knows here, I'm sure, is your two lips come together and the airflow comes out your nose. I'm. But if we said the M sound at the end of, at the beginning of a word, what we'd then do is we'd say a vowel sound after it, like M, and release into that vowel sound. Man, Michael, microphone, M. We push out of it, okay? But here, because there's a consonant after it, what we do is we say I'm. We don't release it because it's at the end of the word. I'm. And then whilst we're making it, I'm. What you can't see is happening inside my mouth is my mouth is preparing for the next sound, which is the G sound. So just have a look here. Like what I want you to look at right now is when I say I'm, the back of my tongue is down at the back of my mouth. Okay, look at all the space in my mouth. Okay, there's lots of space in there. Okay, and it stays quite low down as I go into the M position. I'm. But then what happens is as I'm making that M sound, the back of my tongue is coming up into the G position for the start of the next word. And then all that happens is as I transition to that G sound, is I then just release it like I would do at the beginning of the next word. Look, you can already see the back of my tongue when I open my lips is in the G position. I'm ready for go. Okay. So now without pausing the airflow, it would sound like I'm going, or a bit quicker. I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. The only time the airflow is paused in this example is for a split second, simply as I release the G sound because it's a plosive sound. But if this was a sound where you don't pause the airflow because of it's a plosive sound, like S, if I said I'm singing because I'm happy, the airflow does not pause at all because both of those two sounds, they're sounds where the airflow doesn't pause. So I'm singing, all right? And what this enables you to do is speak without pausing unnecessarily or in the places that aren't ideal, okay? Pooja's going back to her work. Pooja, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great having you here today, okay? So let me just see what comments have come in. And now's your chance to ask me any questions on this. We've gone a bit over 45 minutes, but that's because I wanted to give you as much value as possible on this live training today, okay? And by the way, if you're liking it, just give a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. That really helps me out. It helps YouTube to see that you're liking these videos. And also, if you want to be a superstar, then share this with someone that you know that could benefit. That really, really helps me out, okay? So let's just see the comments, because I've seen lots of you commenting, which is great. So Abraham says, wow, I'm going to the gym. I just imagine the sound. Perfect. Abraham, thank you. Pooja's thumbs up. Good stuff. Sam, great to see you, Sam. I've really enjoyed reading your comments recently. You've been fantastic at commenting a lot. So thank you very much. Sam said, I really love your pronunciation lessons. You explain very scientifically and felt you to the top. Sam, brilliant. That's my goal, is to make the science simple and in a way that's as follow along as possible. Okay. There was one of my clients was telling me about how they'd been told, they'd looked at many different descriptions of how to pronounce the R sound in English. They told me this on Tuesday. And the explanation that they had been told to make the R sound was just a ridiculous explanation. It was so completely unlogical. Even as a native speaker, I couldn't do what their explanation was. And what I try to do with pronunciation is just essentially, literally show you in the most simple way possible what's happening in a way that you can just follow along to. So I'm really glad that you're enjoying it. And Sam, thank you for your comments. It's great to see that it's helping you. Zulkifli says, excellent illustration. You have demonstrated to produce the individual sounds. Thank you, very much appreciated. You're absolutely welcome. Zulkifli, great to have you here again, by the way. Sam also says, hi, Michael. Speaking English and singing are quite similar, and shadowing is the best way to learn the rhythm of English. Absolutely, absolutely. When I was living in Brazil and I was really struggling with my Portuguese pronunciation, I discovered shadowing for the very first time. And what I started doing was shadowing, and I would listen to a Portuguese conversation on a podcast or an audio, and I would say out loud both sides of this conversation that I was hearing. So I was speaking in real time. And what that enabled me to do was it really helped me to understand the rhythm and the feel of Brazilian Portuguese. And even though my pronunciation was terrible, I could still get a much better feel for the rhythm and the stress. So I really, really recommend shadowing. I'm not sure if any of you have seen, I have currently got for a free download where you can download a PDF tutorial for the top 100 words in English, which are the foundation words that make up every conversation in English. They're words like to, the, I'm, these kinds of things. You use them every day. And I also have a course that you can join if you want. It's separate to my main coaching program. It's a lot cheaper. But this course, it shows you how to shadow the correct pronunciation with everything that I've shown you here today for all of the top 100 words in English. And that course, if you shadow and master the correct pronunciation, plus all the things I've shown you here today for the top 100 words in English, is enough to transform your pronunciation and your life in English, okay? Because that alone is massively powerful. And I put it a lot cheaper because I really want to give it to as many people as possible without price being an issue. So if you're interested, you'll probably see an advert from me offering you the free download. And then I think as soon as you've seen the advert and you get the free download, you then get the opportunity to join the course. So if you'd like to, check it out. It's really helped a lot of people who've actually gone on to join my full course. They've started with that one, and that gave them the confidence and the self-belief that they could improve their life with pronunciation, because they tried other things that hadn't worked. They tried that and they got instant confidence, and that showed them that they actually can achieve their goals with pronunciation. So thanks very much. Let's see, any other comments that I have missed? So Pooja, she's gone now, but she said it's not very good. I will be. Oh, she said her English is not very good, but a suggestion to better her English. Well, I mean, this stuff right here is massively powerful if you want to improve your pronunciation. Okay. If I have missed any comments, then I apologise. It's quite hard to be trying to give you loads of content and make stuff clear and see all the comments that come in as well. So if I've missed any comments, I apologise. But I do really appreciate them all. Okay. Alberto said, you really make the language simple to grasp. Great way to explain it, so easy to understand. Thank you, Alberto. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And you're a great example of someone that has followed the advice. And I'm really proud of how your English is sounding. It's sounding really, really good. For everyone who's watching, Alberto's in my coaching program, and he's done a wonderful job with his pronunciation. And he's, yeah, really, really, really good. Really good. He's on the pronunciation podium. So let's have a look. Martin said, do we do the connecting inside one word as well? For example, suspend. It's a very simple word. For some reason, they don't get me when I pronounce it. Okay, so Martin's asked a really, really, really good question here. Really good. She has said, do we connect syllables inside of words that have more than one syllable? For example, Marjan's example was suspend. So if we just write down suspend here, suspend. Okay, we've got two syllables. And again, the dictionary, here's a useful tip. The dictionary will divide syllables up in the way that is correct, technically correct, based on the rules for syllables in English. However, what I've found from working with a lot of different people is that sometimes individuals find it easier to think about splitting syllables up just slightly differently if it makes the consonant clusters in the middle of words easier to pronounce. So, for example, if we take this word here, suspend, first of all, the stress is on the second syllable. Here, suspend, 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 okay? But you might find it easier. So you can either say spend, spend, but you might find it easier to say sus and pend, suspend, suspend. I personally don't, and if I try to say it like that, then it would, for me, it would sound incorrect, but you might find it easier. The reason why, without getting into too much detail, I would advise not doing it like this is because if you say spend, the pronunciation of P is different if it comes after the S sound compared to if it comes at the beginning of a syllable. Okay, I won't go into that now because it gets a bit complicated to explain. But Marjan, her question was, do you still apply the rules of connecting speech within words? And the answer is absolutely yes. So for example, here, suspend, suspend. This is not a good example actually, Marjan, because the essentially the way I would recommend dividing this word up is with the stress. The syllables divided here, and the stress on this one here. So what you get is two syllables: spend, spend, and as a result, because we have a vowel sound, this is a vowel here, followed by a consonant, that is pretty easy. Usually for most people in English pronunciation, it's quite easy to go suspend, suspend. That's not so difficult. What a better example would be, I'm trying to think. Okay, so right, you can't see it right now, but in my room with me here, I have my drum kit because I'm a drummer. Okay, when I'm not teaching pronunciation, I'm playing the drums, and when I'm playing the drums, I have my cymbals, which are things that I hit. Okay, I'm sure you all know that. So if you break up the sounds in cymbal, you have the M at the end of word of syllable 1 and a B sound at the beginning of syllable 2. Cymbal, cymbal, cymbal. Okay, so exactly the same thing applies to within the word symbol as it would if it was across two words. If I say symbol, the two syllables are sim, sim, M sound, sim, and the B sound, bul, symbol, symbol. I do not release the M sound, symbol. Doesn't happen. I just go straight into the next consonant, symbol, symbol. As it happens for this word, the consonant position is exactly the same for both words. Our lips just come together and then we release them. Symbol, symbol. Okay. So Marjan says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Marjan. And I hope that makes it clear. So let's just have a look at the comments here. Yeah, so I think that makes it clear. So Zulkifli says, I understand that the last question was like going, we insert a W. Yeah, okay, yeah, good example, Zulkifli. So in the word going, you've got go, g plus o diphthong, followed by ing, going, going. And when you get those, like a vowel plus a vowel coming together, you then get what sounds like a connecting W sound. Going, going, going. Okay? Again, I won't go into that in too much detail now because that's a whole nother lesson. But Zulkifli, you're absolutely right. Okay? So thank you so much for all the comments. I can see there's lovely comments coming in. Fabienne, great to have you here, Fabienne. Fabienne's also in my coaching program, and she's doing a really, really good job. I'm really proud of what she's achieving. Fabienne is French, and her English pronunciation is très bien, très bien. She agrees with Alberto. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Fabienne. Abraham says, the best English coach I ever see is you. Thank you very much. Hope you train your child to be like you for others to benefit as much as we're benefiting now. You're such a mentor worthy of emulation. Abraham, I really, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. That's one of the nicest comments I've read in a very long time. So I appreciate that a lot, Abraham. Thank you so much. Abdul, great to have you here, Abdul. Abdul says, it's great to see you again, doing a live. Hope you have fully recovered. Regards from Malaysia. Thank you, Abdul. It's weird. I won't go into this in too much detail, but I got COVID and I was quite ill for a few days, and then I started to get better. And now I feel 100%. I'm fine, but I still have three things. I still cough quite a bit, and my smell and taste still isn't 100%. I've heard from different people that it can take quite a long time for them to actually come back to normal. But luckily, nothing more serious. And it made me feel very lucky that I was able to get it and then, a couple of weeks later be all right. So thank you so much for everyone's kind comments. I really appreciated them, and I'm going to respond to them all over the next few days with any luck. Okay, so let's just see. Leoberto, de nada. Muito obrigado. Thank you for your messages, and thanks for being here today. Zulkifli says, enjoy your weekend, Michael. We will meet again online. Absolutely, keep posting videos, Zulkifli, to your channel, because I was really impressed with the one that I saw. Nelson, how you doing, Nelson? Nelson says, are there rules for syllable separation we must follow? Where to find them on the web for free if possible? Yeah, there are rules, Nelson. I don't know anywhere on the web for free. I can do a YouTube video on that in due course, if that would be useful. If you want to find something right away, maybe try potentially Wikipedia. What you want to look at is English. I would type in English syllable structure. That's your best bet to try and find the answer to this right away on the internet for free. Is if you type into Google English syllable structure, I'm pretty sure if you go through a few different websites, you'll find a blog post or an article explaining what you need to know there. So try that, okay? Like I said, I can always do a video on that in due course if it would be useful. Yeah, we're going to, just having a look, yeah, no, I think that's it. So what we'll do is we'll call it a day here for today, everyone. There's a new video coming out next Tuesday at the usual time, 1 p.m. So if you don't already, turn your notifications on so you get notified when it comes out. And I'm going to do a premiere, which means I'll be there to talk to you in a live chat when it does come out, so I can answer any questions that you've got. I think you'll like the video. I'm excited for you to see it, actually. So that'll be next Tuesday. And yeah, I'm planning on doing some more lives also. But a bit like today, I sometimes don't have much notice to let you know about it. So that's why it's useful to turn notifications on when you subscribe, or join my email list, because I send out emails only to my subscribers that just give them pronunciation updates and some extra content as well. So that's the other place if you want to get my notifications. Marjan said it would be really useful if you can do a video on syllable structure. Cool. Okay, I'll add that to my list. I've actually got a few videos. I'm about to film a load more videos for you, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and I will add that to the list. Okay. So yeah, that's it. like I said, if you want my personal help on your pronunciation, just head to howtospeakenglishclearly.com. There you get to work with me personally. You get my WhatsApp number, where I give you a full pronunciation analysis when you join the course. And then you can join my weekly group coaching sessions, which are like this, but you're on camera. You're actually on camera and we're talking live, and I can actually give you my personal feedback on the group calls. So if you'd like to, head over there. You get all of this and more when you join the course. And I'm pleased to say that people in the course are getting really, really, really exciting results. And I'm really proud of their success. So yeah, thanks very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. And I will see you at 1 p.m. on Tuesday for a brand new English pronunciation tutorial. Remember, I'm here fighting for your confidence in English, and I wish you a very happy weekend. I'm going to be working this weekend. I've got some lots I want to crack on with, including this new video that's coming out on Tuesday. I'm going to be filming it probably tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to be up to. And I might do some YouTube stories showing you what else I'm up to as well. We'll see. Just in closing, Abdul says, sometimes I have difficulty to pronounce as in I see. Okay, just in closing, Abdul, I've got a tutorial. I've got 2 tutorials explaining exactly the difference between those 2 sounds. Go to my YouTube channel and type in the as you put it here in the comment, but using the phonetic symbol, and you will get my video that will teach you everything you need to know about that. Okay, that's what I'd recommend. I'm going to have to go now, but thanks very much, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. I'm here fighting for your confidence in English, and I will see you next week. Final question from me. Do you or do you not like the name British Accent Method? I wouldn't normally ask this, but I'm asking you now because everyone that's here is one of my top subscribers, and you all comment a lot. So I know you. And I really appreciate your feedback and opinion. So do you like the name British Accent Method or not? Just let me know in the comments right now if you like it or not. Do you want to achieve a British accent? And do you feel like what I'm helping you to achieve on these tutorials, would you say the British Accent Method is a good way to describe that or not? Just leave a comment quickly now, and I'm just going to stay here and read them. I'm going to stay and read these comments, and then I will head off, okay? So Zulkifli prefers English accent method, okay? Zulkifli, why is that? What's the reason why? Chiara likes it. Thank you, Chiara. That's great to know. Oh, when you're doing these lives, talking non-stop for well, it's been an hour and 10 minutes, so my throat has gone a bit dry, and I don't drink enough water. So the Heineken mug is back and full of water and getting drunk. Alberto likes it. Thank you very much. Muito obrigado, Alberto. Sam Slim likes it. Excellent, brilliant. Thank you very much, Sam Slim. Abdul prefers standard British English. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. And method for British accent, Alberto. Perfeito. Thank you. Because British might include, that's absolutely true. That's very true. It could include Scottish or Welsh or Irish. That's true. That's true. Marjan says, yes, I definitely want to achieve a British accent. Fantastic. Well, Marjan, you are in the right place, and you know that I'm here to help you achieve that. So good to have you back on the live again, Marjan. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much, everyone, for today. And if you want to leave another comment, just go ahead and do it now. Abraham likes it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And yeah, I'm going to just go through, after I finish it, I'm going to go through everyone's comments here and just read what everyone said again, because your comments make me really a proud English pronunciation coach. So yeah. Excellent. Cool. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend. And I'm going to sign off now and see you on Tuesday at 1 p.m. for our new YouTube English pronunciation tutorial. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Cheers, Zulkifli. Thank you, Marjan. Take care. I'll see you soon.